Hello, welcome to another episode of my podcast, Just Play the Movie, where I, along with my guests, discuss some of our favorite films. I'm your host, Renato, and in today's episode, I'm also joined by my brother, Vitor, to talk about the classic time travel movie, Back to the Future.
Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future, a Robert Zemeckis film. Marty leads an ordinary life.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Well, history is going to change.
And 1985 is not his year. But Dr. Brown is about to change all that.
Are you telling me you built a time machine? What of a DeLorean?
He's sending Marty 30 years back in time.
It works! It's a flying saucer from outer space!
Now, he's trapped in the past,
It's got to be a dream.
about to meet
Chocolate.
his future father.
He's a peeping Tom.
Wow!
And he's making an impression on his mother.
It's an absolute dream. And he can sleep in my room.
Anything you do could have serious repercussions on future events.
Now, he's got to make his mother and father fall in love.
For crying out loud, I haven't even been born yet.
And only Dr. Brown can help him get back to the future.
Are you telling me that this sucker is nuclear?
Precisely.
Michael J. Fox,
Whoa, this is heavy.
Christopher Lloyd,
There's that word again, heavy. Why are things so heavy in the future? Is there a problem with the Earth's gravitational pull?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future was made in 1985 by director Robert Zemeckis, with the main stars being Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and Leah Thompson. The film follows Marty McFly, a 17-year-old high school student who is accidentally sent 30 years back in time by his close friend, scientist Doc Brown. Now Marty has to find a way back to the future without doing anything that could alter it. Okay, so this is the third episode of my podcast. I'm here with Vitor again. Vitor, say hi.
Hello, everybody. For the third time, I'm here and I'm ready to start this podcast.
So today we're going to talk about a movie that Vitor likes a lot, I think, and I just watched recently, Back to the Future. Okay, so it starts off with, what's his name? The main character's there, I kind of forgot.
Marty McFly.
Yeah. Marty McFly, and he's friends. I don't know why he's friends with this guy, because it's just some random old guy. They don't like explain why he's friends with this random old guy. He's not like family or anything.
That is actually true.
It's kind of weird.
Maybe in the third movie, because I wasn't really paying attention to the third
I
movie.
haven't watched the sequels yet, so don't spoil it for me.
Oh, but they don't address at all why they're friends.
I heard that the first two are like not like really good, and then the third one is also good, but a little bit less good. So yeah, and the second one they go to the future, right? To like fix their kids or something.
Yeah, so it should actually be called Back to the Past, but we're gonna let that one slide.
Yeah, no, because I always thought it was Back to the Future because like he went to the future before and now he's going to the future again.
That is the more that would make more sense. That's like the easier.
But then he doesn't even go to the future in the first one.
No, but like in the first one he goes to the back. He goes to the past, and then when he comes back, he's going back to the future.
Yeah, because he was in the past.
Exactly.
So it starts with Marty.
It starts with him waking up,
Yeah.
playing the guitar and the huge speaker and flying,
Explodes.
getting exploded. Yeah, exactly. Then him going to school. He auditions for the talent show or whatever that is.
He doesn't get accepted because he's too darn loud.
He's too darn loud, and which is awesome because all those things come back closer to the end, right?
Yeah, the writing. One thing I noticed, like the writing is really good.
There's a reason why it's like one of the classic films, right?
Yeah,
It's just everything, like it's really corny. Like it's not. It has a lot of stereotypes, but like they just do it so
what do you
well.
mean by that? What stereotypes?
Well, Marty McFly is the skater, guitarist, then drives a cool car.
The cool kid.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like it's not like a genre bending movie, but it's just so like well rounded as a film.
What I like about time travel or just in general the movies that most of the time is that they like have all these things in the writing and then they all like piece together. It's like a puzzle that it all comes together at the end and it's really satisfying. Like the thing where he goes back to the past and then the mall used to be a farm, right?
Yeah.
So then he runs through a pine and then when he goes back to the future, instead of being two twin pines mall, it's like Lone Pine Mall. which is like a little Easter egg. Not an Easter egg exactly, but like something.
Oh, it's a little detail.
Yeah, which is really fun.
Yeah. Bro, you have to watch the second movie because same thing. You know how...
Second movie is with all that like technology, right? With the hoverboard thing.
Yeah, it takes place in 2015. So, you know how like in the beginning of the movie there's like the skating scene like with a skateboard and all like those little things, and then like when he goes back to the past, there's like a chase scene where he like grabs a kid on a scooter, takes the thing off of the scooter,
Yeah.
and it becomes a skateboard. And like they just redo that same scene. I don't want to spoil it for you, but that's like how we get introduced to the hoverboard in the second movie. It's like the exact same scene, just with the stuff from the future. It's awesome.
One thing that was kind of confusing, is he like changing the future? Like, is he changing the future when he goes back, or is he making stuff that was already in his reality? Because it's kind of confusing.
No, he's changing the present when he goes back.
Because he goes back and he talks to his father and stuff, and that's why they named Marty. But beforehand, why did they name their? Was it like another reason that they named their son Marty?
Exactly. So I think that Marty was named Marty for like a whatever reason, and then after that, when he comes back, and then like he met Marty, and that's why he got named Marty. Then it becomes a loop after that. But like all the things that change afterwards, like you can't really say that his reality. I mean, that's the whole point of the movie. He goes back and he fixes all his like issues, pretty much all his family's issues, his dad's insecurities, by going to the past. So like life has definitely changed. You know, like the stuff he did in the past definitely affects his present life.
Yeah. One thing that I really like about the movie that I wasn't expecting, because a lot of the, like with older movies and stuff, they're usually kind of predictable, but with this is usually where like when they go back and change something in the past and then they come back and everything's different, they're usually like, they learn the lesson that you shouldn't change stuff, and then that like they usually like regret changing the past, right? In those type of movies.
You get like a trade where like some things get better, but some things get worse.
Like things are meant to be. We shouldn't try to change them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like...
But that's not what happens in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. When he goes back, what I like is that when he goes back and everything's better, he doesn't try to change. He just accepts that like he changed it, he made his life better, and pretty much everything's the same. It's just his parents have a good relationship and he's richer.
See, that's why you gotta watch the second movie, bud, because that's when it gets good.
I know. I watched it like a while ago. I remember.
How much do you care for spoilers? Because I feel like I can make this podcast.
I mean, I wanted to watch it. I think since we're talking about the first one, maybe we shouldn't really try to include this.
No, but like, what are you talking about? Is it like they don't talk about that like part of time travel, but they do in the second one? Whatever. I'm not gonna mention it. There's just like a thing where like Marty wants to take advantage of time travel to do better in life, and that backfires.
Yeah.
Backfire.
Yeah. I know. I think I've seen the second one, like parts of it, a long time ago. I remember I actually watched it a couple days before the time that he goes to in the future, like back in 2015. Like I remember watching it and I checked the date and it was like I think 5 days afterwards, and I was like, oh my god, wait, this future in the movie isn't the future that we have now, because we don't have all these flying cars and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how they pictured the future like that, and it's not at all. I mean, some of the things are kind of...
Some of the things are accurate. Like, I saw this, like, on my YouTube, it popped up, that scene of... I can't really say it, but, like, there are a couple, like... I don't want to spoil it for you, but, like, there's a scene at their house where, like, when they just go to the future, where you get, like, to see a little bit of, like, Marty's future life and, like, their kids and stuff. And, like, they're all in the, like... in the dinner table wearing like VR headsets and like all like have their own like little thing going on. Like everybody has their own like little world happening.
Yeah, the stuff with, I mean, some of the stuff
there's video calling like Skype, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. There's some of the stuff exists now because of the movie, right? Like not because that's the way we just thought it was useful. Like the hoverboard stuff, we made that because of the movie, right?
Yeah,
I think there's just one. You can't really use it. It's like you can only use it over metal or something.
Over like metal like, and really like over superconductors, which is like really frozen magnets.
Yeah. So, but then some of the stuff is actually like holograms and stuff were kind of close to the movie. I think there's a scene in the second movie where like a shark or something jumps out as a hologram and attacks the people.
That's in the second movie, sorry.
Yeah. So we're kind of close to that with the 3D stuff, but not that. I don't know. I haven't seen holograms really
How many sharks have jumped at you? A couple of things like fashion wise from the movie have been brought to life because of it. Like, you know, like the Air Force shoes that Marty wears, Nike actually made those.
Yeah, this
Like that actually do the same thing. Of course, like they didn't become the huge thing.
it must be. Wait, were they actually for sale?
They were. They're like a couple.
So you mean not self-tying, right?
Yeah, self-tying.
How did they do that?
Well, it's not too difficult. It's just a strap that gets tighter. It's just
Oh,
not.
I thought it was like I don't remember. Was it? I thought it actually did like the thing in the movie, didn't
No,
it?
you just put on the shoe anyway.
And it just so it just adjusts.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man's suit.
Okay, so what do you think? I don't know if you heard this before, but because I was watching some reviews of the movie after I watched it, so there's one. The writing's really good, right? But then there's one plot hole that people talk about, which is how did like his parents not remember Marty, right? How did they not recognize that his son grew up to look exactly like the guy who changed their lives, or like helped them? What do you think of that? Do you think it's like
I don't know if it's a
it
plot
breaks
hole.
I mean, because you could say that it's hard to remember faces and stuff like that, but he literally named his kid, so it probably memorable, right? Marty was memorable. In
I
their
would say
life.
so, but I bet like that after he came back, like in their family, they're probably like all very aware, like, oh my gosh, you look so much like him. You remind us so much of him, you know, like it's pretty crazy. Like it was meant to be that we named you after him. I think that if you don't know that time travel exists, you make reasons for it, especially like back in the day, like where like when he went back to, I don't remember what year was it.
Which 55.
55? Like nobody just had like cameras around like we do nowadays, right? It's like it's not like they had probably pictures of him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they just had like their minds, right? Wait, didn't they have like some sort of picture? It's like black and white or something. I'm
Of
really
Marty?
confused with technology in the past.
No.
No, like in 55, I don't know what type of technology they had. Because apparently they didn't have. Did they have? They had cell phones, right? Like not cell phones, like telephones.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know when stuff was invented. Kind of. My knowledge doesn't go that far in that area.
1888. So they definitely had cameras back in the day.
1888.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe they weren't.
But they were really
popular.
crappy cameras.
Yeah, or maybe they weren't like as easy to obtain. Maybe it was just like television and stuff had it. Not
Well,
like everybody has a camera.
Definitely nothing like having phones.
Yeah.
Having cell phones.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's probably why I didn't remember, or maybe they see the resemblance, but that's why you said they just make up reasons in their mind. Because like,
If you
what
don't
other
know it
reason
exists,
would
yeah,
there
exactly.
be, right? To their son looking like their friend that they named him after.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
So
right.
do you think that this plot hole breaks the story, or you think it's just like, I mean, it was such a perfect movie, I guess you can just ignore that. It's not like a big thing that's gonna break the whole plot, and it's not gonna make sense. Just a little detail that it's kind of
About his name?
yeah
don't
about
think
him
it destroys
about
the movie.
him looking exactly like the guy and them not recognizing him.
Well, I don't think I think it's fine. I don't think it's a terrible inconsistency.
I don't know. I didn't get this, but who are those Libyans? I think he called them Libyans. Was that it?
Libyans?
He
The
called-
terrorists?
Yeah, those terrorists. Was it? He said Libyans. I'm pretty sure.
At the end of the movie?
No, the guys in the beginning that kill him.
Oh, they killed Doc?
Yeah,
They're just trying to steal his technology.
is that it? Because that
Yeah, I
wasn't
think
really
it's-
explained. They just showed up. I thought there's something to do with time. Like they came through. They follow him through time or something like that.
No, I don't think. It has
Do they
anything to
come
do-
back? No, I mean, yeah. Do they come back in the sequels? Because
No, I don't
they're
think
just
so.
there for no reason. Are they trying to like? He says they found me. I don't know how
Well,
they
they're-
found me, but they found me. Like he doesn't explain why they're after him.
To steal his time machine or like to steal his Iranian whatever
Okay,
technology
it's kind
that
of
he has.
weird. Just some terrorists wanting a time machine.
Yeah.
Okay, that part is not that clear.
There's this documentary on Netflix about like how a lot of famous movies were made, and there's one on Back to the Future, and they're pretty like a couple of very cool details about like
Oh yeah, maybe I should have watched this before.
maybe you should have.
Yeah, was it the movie that made us? The
Yeah,
movies that
the
made us?
movies that made it.
I haven't. I saw the ones on Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street, but I didn't see the other ones.
You should see that one and also The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I've never seen that movie. It's older, right? It's Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah. So they talk about like how they actually hired somebody else before Michael J. Fox to play Marty McFly.
Wait, who was it?
It's this other guy, but it wasn't working out.
Did you notice that he kind of sounds like, I don't know if you watched it recently, but I thought he kind of sounded like Tom Holland for some reason. And I thought how bad it would be if they tried to make a remake of Back to the Future starring Tom Holland.
It would be terrible.
I really hope they never try to remake. Some movies are just not meant to be remade. Yeah, I'm glad that I finally like sat down and watched it all, because it's one of those classic movies that even though you haven't really watched it, you feel like you have because you already know the plot and you've seen a lot of scenes of it and stuff. Like that scene, I think it's the most iconic scene where he's like plugging the stuff together at the end.
Yeah, the cables are for the lightning strike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I have, in the last couple of years, decided to watch a lot of these classic movies that I've heard a lot about, but maybe haven't actually watched them. I just the other day watched The 40-Year-Old Virgin, which I had seen many scenes from. I knew the plot, and it's like it set the standard for like a lot of other comedy movies. So I'm glad I watched it too, just because like I knew a lot about it, but until you actually watch it, you understand why it's like such a big deal, or why people like it so much.
Yeah. That I think was in my notes too, how Back to the Future set like the base for a lot of other time travel movies. Like it sets how you do something in the past. I mean, there's probably other time travel movies before that, but like it set the base about going to the past and then modifying and stuff in the future.
It is how most people think about time travel. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that paradox. If you could go back in the past and kill your grandpa, then like how would you be born? And then you couldn't kill your grandpa, but then you killed him, and then like, you know, you forever live in that loop. Like, not really, you know? Because people think about time travel like that now since that movie came out.
Yeah, because there's like different ways to think about it. So there's the way where you go back and then you do something and it alters your future, but there's the way that every time you change something, like the smallest thing, it creates a different reality or a different timeline where that thing is changed, just that thing. So like, I don't know how to what extent it is, but like if you go back and then you break a pencil and you throw it on the floor, that might have a different impact on a person's life because they saw that broken pencil.
The butterfly effect you're talking about.
What?
The butterfly effect is what you're talking about.
So it creates a different timeline, or does it just change the future of your one timeline?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about like seriously, the idea of multiple worlds doesn't come from time travel at all. It comes from tangling particles to like quantum universes or whatever. So it has nothing to do with time travel. But the whole idea is stupid because we don't know that time travel is possible, right? So I don't know, like if people can have like objective discussions about time travel because there's no evidence that it's. I mean, there is evidence that time is bendable, but not that you can jump through it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's wrap this up. What do you give this movie out of 10, Vitor?
I think I give this movie, let me think, like a 9.5 out of 10.
Why?
Well, I watched this movie a couple of years ago, and I was really impressed with. I wasn't very into movies, but it was one of the movies that really got me into like think about how movies can be structured in a way where like things that happen in the beginning, you know, if you like, it rewards the viewer for like remembering details, right? And it's something that I appreciate in movies like this or Fight Club, and just paying attention to the movie improves your, you know, experience watching the movie. So it's something that I appreciate in movies, and this is one of the first movies that do that I've seen.
I give this movie a solid 9 out of 10 because it's just a classic movie and it really set the path for other time travel movies. It's really fun, really well made. With that, what you're saying, like the little details that if you pay attention, they come back at the end or like they're changed and stuff. It's really fun overall, and it's a great movie. So I'll probably watch it more times, and I'll watch the sequels too. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Okay, that's a wrap. Once again, thank you for listening to another episode of my podcast, Just Play the Movie. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.